Hello everyone, this is Rambo's interview, and today we'll be talking to one of my closest friends. I've known him since elementary school, and the only redeeming quality about him is that he goes to UCLA. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Rambo's friend. My name is Arvin Singh. I also have a YouTube channel. Search up that name. But anyways, yeah, I'm a UCLA student, and if that is my persona in a nutshell, then I would not blame you.
Yeah, you know what I noticed? I noticed that before I even start the podcast or interviews, a lot of people change their personalities very quickly. I guess I had a personality change when I started the camera, but it's more or less understanding that there's a viewer component. But someone in the chat has said that people are surprised I have friends. And honestly, are you surprised that I have friends?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know who you hang out with besides me.
No, that's true. I mean, yes, that's true. I mean, realistically, right? I think my friend knows this, Arvin. I mean, do you want to explain why you think I don't have friends? I guess.
You're focused. You're pretty focused on that. You don't care about social bullshit that doesn't exist.
Right. So if you guys watch the videos, a big thing that I talk about is like the idea of pretty much living for other people. And once you go to college, actually, now that we mention it, you have a big fucking problem with people pleasing.
Had.
Yes.
Had.
Yes. Speaking is very powerful, but
Fuck you is a powerful thought too.
yeah. So if you guys don't know, a little bit of context. He is around your third year in UCLA, and since the very beginning, the whole system of our friendship is he comes back to UCLA, and then we have conversations about what's going on, and it's pretty much the same conversation constantly back to back to back, where it's quite simple. There's a girl he likes, he fumbles all the time, and then afterwards he's also in this club and he has this weird need to impress them, or has taken up so many responsibilities he doesn't do what he actually should be doing, which is what he wants to do, which is, now that I think about it, that's a lot of the things I say in my own videos.
Yeah, whenever I watch your videos, it's like I'm just talking to you normally, except, you're on a screen. But
Right, but what do you think about the whole description I gave you? Because it was.
oh, that makes sense. That's very concise. Yeah, it makes sense.
Are you offended? Because
Nah,
okay,
I'm past all the bullshit
right.
I experienced.
And by the way, you say that every time you come back.
No.
Yes.
Okay, well, I used to be a fucking actor.
What do you mean?
It's ironic. People pleasing. I was a people pleaser. You were one of the people I was trying to please, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh, I'm going on a run with you. Like, I don't want to upset him, so I'm gonna be like, there's hope. I'm doing well, but like, really, I'm not. And I'm like, oh, I'm learning, but I'm really not. But like, it takes a fucking summer in order to know where you should be, instead of fucking around with other people who don't give a shit.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
So I'm doing an internship, and when you do an internship, I kind of go like Allen mode, like.
My name's Rambo. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You go ahead.
Fucking go Rambo mode. Like Rambo mode, you're just on the grind, respecting your energy, but you're trying to optimize your life. So that's why college doesn't fit in like a nice fitting puzzle piece right now. Just like that with my internship, I'm like struggling to optimize my energy all the time. And I'm like, okay, I need to give up this, I need to give up that. I'm gonna focus on two things. I'm gonna do my YouTube on the side. I'm gonna do my internship. That's it. And in the process, you realize, man, there's so many distractions that I faced back at UCLA from this social bullshit that I don't need to pay attention to, and that completely does not even help me at all. Like, I get into a fuck everything mindset when I'm here in summer. Then when I go back, it all turns upside down. But it's completely different this summer. Like, I'm just done with it, tired of it. Lots of people have left my life, and I'm happy for that. So
So here's the thing. I think this is a big thing a lot of college students face. It's that once they get to that college, they pretty much face a pendulum. So a pendulum is like this idea where it's this entity, this energy that takes over a person. That's why so many people, our friends, many college students who go to university, they feel like there's this big personality switch. And then once they go back to their spot, they're like, "Oh my God, this is who I am." And then they keep on rebounding every single time they change their environment. It happens all the fucking time.
When you're back in Chicago, you feel it. Another version of you, you were in it.
Yeah, it's and like this is the thing. It happened to me too when I did drop out of college. Is that once I dropped out, I realized, yeah, this is kind of all bullshit. I didn't really care about my coding classes, but I cared enough to get an A. I didn't really care enough about my clubs, but I cared enough to say shit, impress people, and I think it's very interesting to always see you, like once in a while, Arvin, because it always reminds me of where I could be, if that makes sense. And
I see a lot of people like this. Like I'm glad I have a lot of friends who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then I know what not to do, in a way, like where I shouldn't be, where I could have been if I didn't.
okay, I'm taking this because actually, here's the thing, okay? People talk about Rambo doesn't have a lot of friends or whatever the fuck, but realistically, I choose not to have a lot of friends because even if you go to UCLA, even if you go to a very simple school where the acceptance rate is really high, there's a lot of dumb people out there.
Hell yeah.
And let me know if I'm sharing too much info, right? But there was this scene recently with Arvin, and there was this girl he likes. She's about to leave for she was about to graduate, and he got drunk and he said a lot of dumb shit. And his friends, which I'm assuming are equally not as socially intellectual as I am, they egged you on to do certain actions, which, is it fine if I say?
He's too specific.
Yes, they egged him on to do specific actions, which when he was telling me the story of like, oh, I'm going to text her and then I'm going to apologize in person. In my head, I was thinking, that's a fucking horrible idea. Why would you do that? And then his friends who go to UCLA, which are, high IQ people, they said, yeah, that's a good idea. So maybe that's a reason why I don't have a lot of friends, but it's because I don't need a lot of friends. And the reason why I mentioned this was because you were mentioning friends or something. I forgot.
I forgot too. No, you came to me like about the friend thing. No. First was why you don't have a lot of friends. Then you asked me if I have a lot of friends. Then you're like, okay, well, you have a people pleasing issue.
A lot of people. It's not you. It's something intrinsic, because it's biological. You have to care because.
It's gonna be there regardless, but if it bothers you or not, like the saying, like anyone can experience anything, but how you react is what matters.
Say that again.
Anyone can experience any shit. Everyone can experience the same shit probably, but how you react how you react differentiates like if you're good or not.
I agree, and I think this is a little bit more to talk about. There's a lot of people who talk about, was I scared to drop out? Like I just hunged it out and I picked a major. Not really, right? Obviously, it took time to come to that conclusion. I need to think of every possibility, but after I did, I decided to do it. It's that fucking easy. It's that fucking quick. But realistically, we were talking about the idea of something happens, people react differently. That's a big reason why I never became a therapist or a psychologist or took a psychology major. It's something I'm interested in at the very beginning, but I realize it's kind of bullshit. It's not a real science. They like to prop them up as a science. Political science, what the fuck does that mean? That's not a science, right? Yeah. But they like to pretend that it is. And with psychology, it's kind of stupid and useless and dumb because every single time I enter a classroom about psychology or philosophy, I don't learn anything new because I already knew it just from my own life. And, I really got nothing to say.
I got nothing to say either. Where are we going with this? Psychology sucks? As a major?
No, I mean, if anything, let's just focus more directly on you, Arvin, and school. You're about to graduate soon, I think in 1 to 2 years.
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
Where?
The official graduation's in 1 year. Okay. Me leaving UCLA is in a year and a quarter.
where do you think you'll end up? Because there's always big milestones. It's middle school, then high school, then college, and then
I'm not fucking going to grad school.
right.
It's stupid for me. I mean, I can't sit in front of a classroom just learning stuff. Look, I want to know engineering. Okay, what are you gonna do? Go into a classroom and they teach you about like freaking atomic orbitals and everything? I don't want to know everything. I want to know what I want to know. It's stupid, and the pattern is just gonna continue. Like, I know you specialize when you're in a university and stuff. I'm sorry, when you're doing your master's or something. But I'm done with studying. I'm ready to work. Like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going backwards. If anything, forcing myself to learn stuff I don't want to learn.
Yeah, and it's a big reoccurring theme with a lot of people who do go to college or people who do drop out. A big thing they always say is it's kind of pointless. You're learning a lot of subjects and majors that you don't care about, and the things you are passionate about is completely diluted by everything else, and you have the same sentiment. And funny enough, I asked about like what's going to be next. You want to work. Is there anything specific, like a job that's lined up, or?
There is a job realistically lined up. This is the same place I've been doing my internships at, 3D printing and designing things. But yeah, that's like half of what I enjoy doing, maybe a third. I enjoy it a lot, but it's just a boring pattern, and I don't want to be stuck in that pattern. And that's why I low-key hope like I'm working on it already this year on like a different YouTube channel, but for my club, but trying to get the YouTube stuff going because I just love self-employment so much more than working for someone else working for a company who might not even know what they're doing, and then just going back and forth doing the same thing just to get paid. Keyword, just to get paid.
Very good points, Arvin. I think there's a big conundrum a lot of people face, especially if you guys watched my most recent video about like how not to waste your 20s. It's very complicated because I get there's a lot of end goals, right? There's a lot of people who think they look very deep into the future in the context of I just want to go to a good college so I can get that good job so I can just get paid.
Yeah.
But what happens after that? And there's many people who are also so short-minded, especially when you go to college, where it's simply just I want to have a good time, I want to drink, I want to have sex. That's good, that's cool. And there's the people that think they're better by saying I just want to get a good job. But what happens after the good job? You're mindlessly working for some company.
They become the NPC. They become the NPC.
And why do you say that? You know people who do become NPCs following that route?
Yeah, I know a lot of great smart people who are extremely academic. And I don't mean to shit on them. They do whatever they want. But to me, they're just NPCs, and I should not be sucking their dick or anything just because they have higher grades.
You're projecting right now. Say it again.
I'm projecting?
Say that again.
There are a lot of people with like higher grades than me, but I'm not going to suck their dick just because they have a higher grade, even though I think they're just NPCs to me.
You know what? Now that I think about it, so Arvin.
Hold on. This is interesting perspective because right now I'm like in the middle. Like there are people above me. We're talking about academics here and like how university oriented you are. There are people above me, then I'm here, and then there's you who's below me. And we're not talking about just general like superiority.
I know,
we're talking about just the academic stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like getting pulled towards your side because I'm realizing like that side is not for me. My brain doesn't outwork like that. How do you view me as in that way, like from the other side of it?
How do I view you as like someone who's living their life? You mean
Academically?
How do I view you academically? You could be better, right? We talk
Academically versus socially.
Oh, like comparatively.
Yeah, the ratio I was talking about just now.
Oh, sorry. I'm completely split brain right now. I'm assuming that's because someone made a comment about like social aspects about college.
Oh no.
No. Okay. So someone just said.
No, that's true. That's true.
Actually, I mean maybe.
I put myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations.
So I don't know if you guys picked it up, but Arvin says
I'm pretty sure.
he puts himself in a lot of uncomfortable situations, and if I were to compare you, obviously you're better academically than socially. I think I wouldn't say this is a you thing, Arvin. This is a thing a lot of people do. So recently we were talking about it, and you went to a cruise, and you have a nephew or cousin.
Yeah.
Right. So he has a nephew or cousin, and if you guys,
Cousin. I can't have a nephew. I'm not.
Shana, I don't care. I don't care. I don't think about it. All right, but the entire thought process was when I also went to the cruise. It's kind of a social thing because everyone's on vacation. Everyone's open to and willing to have a conversation. And I didn't leave it in the video, but in the video itself, I pretty much talked to a lot of people. I even briefly mentioned it. I went on a double date with another couple our age, and it's because I striked up the conversation. We were sitting next to each other. We were like aware of each other, but we never said anything. And then whilst there was a scene of just quietness, I started up the conversation. I don't know what I said, but we had good chemistry and we went on a double date. We had fun. That's the end of it. And with your story, with you and your cousin, your entire, like both of you guys, which you can see in college as well, there's a bunch of fucking dudes who aren't good socially. So their go-to move is to embarrass themselves as a good icebreaker.
Yeah. Yes. I do think embarrassment works great as icebreaker, but if you overdo it, I've overdone it. My cousin definitely overdoes it. You start looking like an idiot at the cost of entertaining other people. That's the people pleasing part. That's toxic. That you should not ever treat yourself like.
So recently, you have hopped on ADHD medication, and me and another autistic friend was very adamant about not doing it.
Another autistic friend.
Yes, that is very that is very adamant about not doing it. I even made a video about like most likely you shouldn't take ADHD medication. Very controversial. A lot of comments fucking hated it.
For autism?
No, ADHD.
Oh, general.
Yes. But at the same time, I also got a lot of personal messages saying, you fucking changed me. I actually stopped taking it and it benefited them. So there's a lot of nuance in the conversation, right? But obviously there becomes a dependency once you take it. But from what we've talked about, it's good. It's been good so far. How is it?
Yeah, it's great. It's not made for you to be like on it your whole life. Even though it might seem like that at first, like you should definitely go off of it at some point. It's just a fix in the right direction. But it's been working really well to fix me into the right direction. You know, at some point I'm going to have to give it up because it won't be doing much anymore because of the tolerance. I think starting it is there's nothing wrong with that at all. If you have actual issues that is diagnosed by a doctor. If you're diagnosing yourself, that's a problem.
I mean, let's be real. Everyone can be diagnosed with ADHD.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
100%. Dude, make someone hop on TikTok for 6 months, ruin their attention span, and they'll have the symptoms of ADHD. Or put them on a diet that increases your ADHD tendencies, extra red 40, more junk food, and it's like it's much more something you can control externally, and a lot of people think it's intrinsic. I'm sure there's a lot of people that suffer from ADHD intrinsically, right? But I think it's significantly less. So like we know that IQ every few generations increases. So whatever was 100 actually becomes 104. That's the new average. So they readjust the chart so it becomes 100. I think that's the exact same thing with ADHD. It's becoming more normalized, and then the perception of its prevalency is being shifted, if that makes sense. I don't know if I communicated that well.
No, that makes sense. Here, give it. It makes sense. I'll be honest, I've not researched it that much, so I'm not very aware of a lot of other people but that makes sense. Everyone would show like, the symptoms of ADHD of just fucking around and not doing what you're doing. But like autism is a spectrum, and I wouldn't say it's you're either diagnosed or not. I haven't even officially diagnosed yet. They just said you very likely have it. Let's give you this medicine. Yeah, let's give you this medicine to find out how you react to it. If you react well, then consider getting tested, and consider keep on taking the medicine as prescribed. And if it helps, it helps. There's no other thing than that. If it has no other side effects, which it doesn't really, just the only side effect is addiction. So you don't get into that.
Speaking of which, I hear a lot of people in college are on Adderall. It's like a big black market type of situation. So from 1 to 10, right, from a percentage, because everyone's in UCLA, it might be a little bit skewed because it's harder workers, aka they just take more stimulants. But from 1 to 10,
I would have no clue. I have not heard of the black market of Adderall until like 3 months ago.
Right, and the first time you did try Adderall was from the black market. A friend sold
A
it.
free one, yeah.
Yes, yes. It was actually laced with fentanyl, and there was a big withdrawal. I'm kidding, guys. No, no. So
Man and do coke.
yeah, and by the way, this is interesting because I never was a big person into college. I obviously did get good grades and have good extracurriculars in high school, and I didn't want to move just because I knew deep down I didn't want to do college. I didn't apply to any of the big schools because if I did get in, which I probably would have, I would have taken the opportunity. And at least for me, compared to other many kids, they don't have a lot of freedom. And I know for you, when you did go to UCLA, you were given so much freedom.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
It was
It
horrible.
was horrible. It was horrible. That fucked me up. The freedom fucked you up. You know, when you're into high school, your parents make you get the hell out of your bed, go to school. You're at school. You can't leave. They're at work. They bring you home after work. You're done. That's it. Then you know you have a couple hours to fuck around. But when you're at UCLA, or when you're at any college and you're like living away from your parents, or you're living in a dorm apartment or whatever, you're on your own, on literally everything physical. You decide what to do all the time. There's so much room for fucking up, and some people fuck up less than others. I like how much I fucked up because at least now I know what not to do.
What did you do? What did you do?
What did I do?
Because it's normalized for me.
Okay, the first quarter was great, and then I just started caring less about grades the second quarter. And then the third quarter, I got into liking someone that fucked me up internally completely. And then for the next year, it was basically that and just being suicidal all the time about that. And then, like, you know, the grades never got better. And it all just starts from, hey, my grades suck, that makes me a bad person. And my grades probably would not have sucked if I was still at home and my dad was still telling me to get my butt off the bed and, like, study. It would be different. The biggest problem is probably just not going to class when you're tired. That is a huge part of it. Past year, I've been working a lot better on it. I had to actually drop the last quarter. That's why I have to take an extra quarter. But since I've been on the medication, it's been very eye-opening. And I'll let you know how it's like once I'm back doing studying.
Right, because, you know, we've had the conversation of, like, near the end, Arvin and I would have a lot of conversations. He would feel very motivated, and then he goes back to the college, and he's like back in the pendulum. And that's no blame to you. That's literally everyone that goes to college. That's literally everyone. And people ask why I do YouTube. I do for the fucking money, duh, right? But obviously, I don't get paid a lot of money. I think this month I finally turned a profit, which is like $5. Wow. Years of effort, zero labor. Now you're finally at a profit after all the fucking items I've spent. But another reason why I make my videos, especially the most recent one, indirectly, I didn't even know about it. But my most recent video talks a lot about your struggles because a lot of people exist for everyone else. And once that existence is taken away, so a lot of people go to college, they no longer have the pressure of their parents, they no longer have the pressure of everyone else in high school, it's all gone, and they kind of lose control. And then boom, you pick everything back up, but maybe that's not even you picking it back up, maybe it's because of the environment of new people that are, right, that you're kind of being...
The novelty definitely helps. When it was extremely novel in my first quarter, that's what made me like, I don't want to do anything wrong. And I just want to get good grades. I don't want to make friends. I have no friends here. That's when you're like, I need to do something. You're like, there's urgency to it. And then when you get comfortable, you're like, I'll just like sit in my like bunk and play PUBG Mobile for like 12
Really?
hours. Yeah, I did that.
What the fuck? That's... By the way, you do go to like a actually, I mean, it's pretty good. You go to a good school, a good school compared to many other schools. Is there this air of superiority? And be honest, because if I was in your position, I would be like, fuck you guys, I'm in UCLA. But it's gonna happen once it become like, I have more subscribers. Fuck you guys, I have 10 million. Have you crossed paths with someone that's not in your school or less than, and you're like, fuck this guy? Because that's one of the good parts of being the elite.
It's weird. Sometimes I can't believe I go to UCLA because I feel stupid, And then also, I can't believe a lot of other people I see that go to UCLA because they're also stupid. And I only realize that UCLA is a good school when I talk to people who don't go there. But everyone there either wants to kill themselves or kill each other. That's probably how most big schools are, anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do have a friend who's like, fuck you, UCLA, I'm graduating, I'm going to work. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be for me. When I didn't think I'd get there, but that's how it's going to be for me.
Yeah, we've actually never talked about this, but what's it like being at UCLA? I heard every big school, it's very competitive because they were very competitive in high school, assumingly. And then once they get there, it's more of like a free-for-all where it's skill-based matchmaking. And everyone, again, is like used to being at the very top. So it's more competitive. I'm assuming everyone's trying to like eat each other.
It refilters.
Thank you for telling us there's no audio.
Is there a tap?
At the very top, there's an option to unmute. So, hey, stop it. Okay.
You're holding it upside down. That was your fault.
Yo, shout out to them. Okay. Well, you can talk now. It'll show up red.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a filter. It's a huge filter, but it's a double filter because there are two schools involved. When you're in high school, I was at the top of the filter because I had good grades. I had a club. I was leading a club. I had great friends, and I knew, like, I felt the environment of.
Don't forget you're rich.
Yeah, I'm like upper middle class.
Yeah. You had tutoring, by the way, for your essays or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that was for college essays. That was mostly on like how to. 'Cause, dude, I was so bad at like articulating myself back then. I got really good at articulate. That whole like class or that whole tutoring thing was basically just articulating yourself on paper. But anyways, they're like half the students who don't go to college, and there's half the students who do go to college, and all the students who do go to college have a hope like I'm gonna do well in the future. And then when you're at college, the playing field is leveled again. You're at everyone your level. A new filter emerges, and it's not necessarily the people who are best in high school. It kind of just imagine like a chessboard reorienting itself automatically after a while because the game continues. You have new people at the top. You have new people at the bottom. I'm definitely at the bottom. At UCLA.
You can't say that to yourself. You can't say that to yourself. You can't say that.
I don't care that my GPA is 2.8.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care.
Telling it to people. There you go.
No, I like telling you. I love being vulnerable because I'm not okay. Maybe part of me is just trying to entertain others, but I entertain.
Right. I was literally thinking about that.
I entertain myself by being stupid sometimes, but not stupid in terms of fucking dumbass, but like vulnerable type.
You think that's a good cycle to have mentally, right? So, for example, there's like a gambler. When he loses, there is some sort of satisfaction, and same thing with like you publicly embarrassing. By the way, on the cruise you didn't public embarrass yourself. It was like you were with the little cousin, and you were like you were bouncing off of each other, but at a lower scale, right?
He was doing most of the heavy lifting for whatever fucking social embarrassment we were doing. I was in the background running away from him half the time.
What were the emotions you had in UCLA? Like the happy moments, the envious moments where you're envious of people, the angry moments, the moments where you felt calm. You can take time to think.
Yeah. I'll give you a mosaic of moments from the beginning. My first time cheating on a huge test. Amazing.
Okay.
My first time getting.
No. Why was it amazing?
Because it was online. I felt smart because I'm like, I'm here to use my tools to get this degree, not to create a fictional dick measuring contest with other students. And then my first D was in my second quarter. My first anything below a A. And then for a final grade, that is. So that sucked. My first real crush. That's the beginning of a huge pit of death.
Well, right, but initially the lovers.
Oh, okay. Initially, like the lovers phase of being obsessed. Yeah, that was okay. Actually, no. Thank you for bringing that up. That was the best week of my life, for a while. That was probably still the best week of my life, but
Best week of your life.
I think that was
What the fuck?
Looking back, at that point and looking back, it's still the best week of my life.
Wow.
Not because of like what was happening, but because of how I felt with the whatever freaking hormones
Yeah.
were circulating in my body for a week.
Uh-huh.
That was great. Like the acceptance, like the oxytocin and all that shit.
Okay.
Now we step into the summer, and you're there smacking some sense into my head, and I'm like, I'll consider it, dude. I was so fucking stubborn.
Right.
You know that. And then go into my second year, and it's the cycle that began of I talk to you, and then I go back, and then I fuck up, then I come back and talk to you, and then I go back and fuck up. It's because I don't know what I'm doing there. It's because I don't know any better, and probably because I was insane, because if you keep making a mistake over and over again, you're insane. And then I do my internship, and then my internship riles me up and tells me, hey, I matter to a lot of people because some people actually value my skills. But then in the next year's internship, this year, I'm like, they value my skills probably because I'm an intern. They want me to stay there. They want to at least portray they value my skills. But I have realized how much of an illusion a lot of this stuff is, and it's just in my head. And you've told me that before, and I'm the type of person who does not believe anyone until I experience it myself, and that sucks. That's how I am, and I think that is definitely changing slowly for the better. And another high moment, I think every time I post my yearly video.
So you from what it sounds like, when you're at UCLA, you were struggling a lot with self-confidence or self-worth. Yeah. And more importantly, do you think it's something you have always struggled with, or did it start being introduced when you're in that UCLA environment?
It got silenced in high school. It was a huge thing in elementary school for me, of trying to fit in. And then when I was in middle school, it's like, everyone's fucking stupid. I could blend in. And then when I'm in high school, I'm like, oh, I actually like math, which stopped happening into college. But stuff like that made me feel better. And then it was a Band-Aid. It was a really good Band-Aid. My club I made for like 3D printers and stuff, that was a really good Band-Aid. And then when I'm back at UCLA, I realized I care for some reason about what other people think of me, because my self-confidence is like based in that. And then at that point you're like, I'm an adult. I have to learn this at some point, and it took like freaking 3 years of being there, but I've done 80% of the learning already, and I'm already a lot better off. I don't think it's intrinsic to me. I don't think so. I hope not.
So you think it's because of UCLA that really did affect your self-worth? Because for a brief moment when you did come by, you were comparing yourself to other people in your club. You remember? Right. Yeah. And do you think what do you think affected you? And by the way, this is I think this is something a lot of people struggle with, especially those who go to college and value a lot of their worth either socially, how many girls they get, what's their grades, what their parents think of them. And it's awesome that you're being very vulnerable, Arvin. And I'm gonna give it to you.
Where do I pick up from? Dude, your chair's gonna kill me. There is a very subtle, even at my job, my dad's deep into this issue. I'm not, because I'm just an intern there.
Nepotism.
It works great. Nepotism is great.
I agree. People hate on it, but it's like, obviously,
if there's an opportunity, it's an opportunity.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Agree.
If there's an organization and there are a bunch of people, it's like the Lord of the Flies type of situation.
Yes.
There is going to be freaking chaos because no one will agree with each other. This is literally how politics, like, freaking explodes on the national level. People won't agree with each other subtly. Then there's competition of, I need to be the best. I need to look the best. I need to feel the best. I need to talk the best. I need to work the best. I need to create the best product that everyone else is also working on. And even though people might not directly say it because it's against, the culture that people are keeping up of, I want to keep them as friends so that I have someone who believes that I'm better than them. And then that gets into some people's heads. Some people do well because they're probably just freaking lucky. Some people just look good. Some people just are in a... Some people are just in a freaking shithole of a household that makes them do perfect at the cost of their mental health, so they look good. But they look like they're doing good, but they're not. Then there's NPCs who are just freaking, they're just always in the middle. Then there's me, who is probably traumatized by elementary school to an extent, which I was going to say also, because in elementary school I was also trying to fit into groups that did not like me. So for me, it was like a can of worms that got reopened, and then I started becoming probably the most reactive person in my club for this issue. That's where it all starts.
What do you mean by reactive? As in you'd like try to be involved with everything and be useful to everyone?
More volatile in every direction. Yes, try to be more useful. Actively trying to sculpt your image without making it obvious. So you're putting an effort into making the first design for this engineering project, so you seem like the smart one because you made it before others, or telling someone, I'm telling you so, I'll tell you, you'll find out in the future that it doesn't work, that X does not work, and then in the future I'm like, X did not work. And it doesn't always work like that. You can't predict the future. So I take those insane risks of doing stunts that I think will help me, but then end up either miraculously helping me or backfiring because I was wrong. And then when I'm wrong, I feel, oh shit, I'm wrong. I took a shot to the chest.
Now that you're hopefully out of that phase of life, do you think you recognize people that are in your position? And do you say anything? Do you just watch them from afar and let them figure it out themselves? Or
No, I have some friends.
close to your face.
I have some friends who are like that. I think my cousin's a bit like that. I like to...
Is that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to bestow them with my wisdom of the things I've done wrong and with the vulnerability of what I could work on more. And it's probably like 5% of the people I know also have this issue. It's not very common. I have not researched it enough with them to know if it's purely trauma-based or just intrinsic to them, their personality.
What do you think I think about trauma? Because I think for a while I was reading a book and it discusses how trauma doesn't exist, right? And I was trying to not mention it because there were other things that did pop up in my mind. But now that we're here, you mentioned that you're traumatized by like elementary school, and honestly, I have bad memory. I forget a lot of things. I barely remember elementary school. I remember one time I was at recess or like a 5-minute, 20-minute break. I was grabbing a ball from this like box, and this giant black girl ran, fucking shouldered me out the way, and I fucking fell over. And she just looked at me, and I fucking hate that bitch. I don't know who she was. I don't remember her, but that's all I remember from elementary school.
Let's rephrase the trauma does not exist.
Me or you?
I'm going to rephrase it right now.
Okay.
Trauma exists. It is a horrible reason to not try to fix yourself. I think it's an excuse people use. Very big excuse a lot of people use. Like if trauma was like an immovable object, I would not be here. I would be like crying under my bed, wishing I had more friends. But I was traumatized as in a temporary sense of gosh, this happens. This happened. I'm scared of it happening again.
Okay. Well, the reason why I say trauma doesn't exist is because you can change the environment. So, for example, right, back in the day, motherfuckers would die at the age of 16, and it's very normal.
Yeah.
And then now, when someone dies at the age of 16, it's a tragedy, and the people involved in the family are very traumatized because of the experience. But back in the day, it's extremely normal. Everyone had 8 children because it's to prepare for that fact. There's other things where controversial, but I think like kings and whatever the hell would date very, very, very underage children, and those children are completely fine with it. It was normalized, still is in parts of the world, and now it's a big trauma thing. I'm not saying it isn't something that should be taken not seriously, but what I believe is a lot of trauma is defined based on the pendulums. So, for example, many people change their entire personality or feel like they can't escape their personality once they go to college, once they go to school. It's this entire switch of, I am someone at my hometown, but I feel like I can't bring that person or me to college. And it's the same idea with trauma, where I am this person, but I can't seem to bring that out of me because of trauma. Am I making sense?
Do you think trauma is the same thing as fear?
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think a lot. I mean, I do, but I don't think a lot about things that don't really matter to me, right? I've been interviewing a lot of people, and the last person was this YouTuber, and I talked about like emotional distress. He had like this big breakup, and for me, I haven't in years. I haven't had a big moment where I was emotionally distressed. I'm quite chill. I'm more or less focused on happiness, love, passion, and joy, compared to like fear, anxiety. Mm-hmm. So it just appears less. So like, what was your question? Something about fear?
If you had to think about it, what's your idea of what's the difference between fear and trauma? Because in that case, if they're the same thing, I don't think trauma exists in that case. What is trauma?
Well, it's not a thing. So like that's right. Yes. He by the way, he just said exactly.
It's just fucking fear.
Sure. Or I here's the thing. I don't think about it. So this is a conversation that really doesn't pertain to me. But let's say it, right?
Think about it right now.
Okay. So how about this? So back when I was single, Arvin and I, it's a very old video of mine where we did cold approaching. Remember that?
Yeah, we dated.
He said we dated. No, we did not. So what happened was it was a 30-day rejection therapy challenge. So for 30 days, we would go out and purposely get rejected. And it'd be a good little thing for the video. Final day, go talk to a girl, right? And for me, or like for both of us, we did it. Because maybe it was a camaraderie thing. Maybe it's both of us. I have no idea, right? But then, now I'm dating someone, you're single, and I've tried to get you to talk to girls as well. I think this summer, last summer, I have no idea. But I wanted you to go out there and get some punani, because you've been obsessed over this.
That's happening next quarter.
And you're obsessed over this girl, and you won't do it.
Were.
Huh?
Were.
Yes, were. And you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't talk to a girl. I remember we went to a mall, right? And Arvin would make up every excuse possible. Okay, it needs to be recorded, number one, because I'm not gonna do it for no reason. And then second excuse was, okay, they're not pretty enough, Rambo. I have standards. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because, well, you tell me, right? Do you think that's because of trauma? Do you think that's because of fear? Were you scared to do it? Were you putting
fear? What are you talking about? 2 months ago?
I don't know. Yes.
Oh, that's just a general thing.
What do you mean?
I don't know. They're just being picky with how people look for me before I approach them.
So there's like a fallacy involved in this conversation, because when we would talk about it, you would say you don't really care about looks that much. Personality matters. What?
When did I say that?
Well, you were fucking talking about the girl and her personality being so smart and shit, right?
She looked good.
Is that it?
Probably.
Okay.
Look, if you talk to me when Fuck, stop. Stop touching the top.
I'm not.
I'm touching the bottom every
I'm
time.
not. Me
Dude,
too.
we need to like... Well, this is a stupid design.
No, it's a good design. I like it.
If you talk to... okay, at least how it used to be. Because I've had crises this summer that I'm honest about now. But if you talk to me back then when I'm in a crisis, either I would reject the fact I'm in a crisis or reject how I got into that crisis.
By the way, can you stop saying I and just saying it's like it's not associated to you anymore. And by the way,
Old Arvin.
no, don't even mention yourself. A lot of people would, right?
lot of people.
Like disassociate. I think that's very important in how you use vocabulary. I think that's very important. A lot of people don't realize, right? Because every gambler says they're not addicted. Every alcoholic says they're not addicted. And you saying, "Oh, I am someone who associates myself with a person who doesn't." You know what I mean, Arvin?
Yeah.
It's not you. Everyone in a crisis says they're not in a crisis.
Yeah. So if you see someone doing that to you or talking to you about it, be mindful of that because they probably don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're blinded by their problems.
I'll be honest. I got distracted while you were talking. I was looking at the chat.
Me too. I do that too.
Yeah.
That I get to say.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I get some dumbass comments. Someone says, "Call me black," and they're talking about Genshin streams. You know Genshin Impact? I play a lot of that, dude. I play it, bro. I have like 500 days on that game. I will be doing that Genshin stream maybe sometime tomorrow, but as of now, what's your priority? Because you're about to enter school again. Your internship finished. Like, what's the plan for tomorrow? Or what's the plan for today, next week, a year, then 5 years?
Today, I need to finish editing a video. Tomorrow, I need to consider finishing the project I'm editing the video for. Next week, I need to consider how I'm going to integrate my lifestyle that I've worked so hard on improving this summer into schoolwork. Next month, I need to find out, is it working? Is it worth it? What could I change? And then next year, do I continue school?
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean continue school?
Next year in terms of when I graduate.
Oh, do you consider graduate school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I could get more detail. In the process, there are categories. Like there's not just school. I kind of went in between because I just assumed like summer is YouTube's school year is school, but it's not. It's not. Next month, I consider how could I do more for YouTube by doing less. How could I get more product by doing less? Because that's what matters. So it is delegation, finding people to do the work for you, so you can focus on the high level stuff. Next year is, has that worked, and how could you completely offload it? Because I don't want to be stuck making YouTube videos for a YouTube channel other than mine for even 2 years. That's too much. Yeah.
By the way, I think Arvin is explaining a lot of things in his life without enough context. So I'll give a little bit of context. Arvin is just as passionate as creative work as I am. He's a way better artist. He also was passionate about making music and just as passionate about YouTube videos. But like him, he got presented a good opportunity of going to UCLA. He considered going to a school that's in our area, which is what I decided to do. And it's like, we're just going different paths. None is wrong, by the way.
Let's preface this with I want to go to UCLA because I want to fuck up my life a bit in a good way.
What do you mean?
I want to put myself in an uncomfortable situation that I've never been in.
Oh, that's bullshit. You put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, but you can't talk to girls?
No, now I can. I will. I'm maturing, bro. But I know. Okay. When you're in, I don't want to distract you from the conversation you were talking about earlier. But when you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, doesn't mean you're gonna have the courage right away. You have to build up the courage by learning what how.
And that's wrong, by the way. That is fact. Here's the thing. That I think that's a big reason why so many people suffer with trauma and sadness and depression. It's because they think it's the slow accumulation.
How do you make progress?
Genuinely, Arvin, a lot of satisfaction, happiness, fear, courage, it happens now. It never happens later. It happens now in the present. So, for example, happiness. A lot of people think happiness is just this thing that will naturally come to you. But when are the moments you're actually happy? It's when you're in the present moment, right?
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future, because every single time you're thinking about the past, you're yearning for it, or you wish things were different. There's a desire in it. And then if you're constantly thinking about the future, where you'll be, what you will do, you're never actually in the present moment. That will not make you happy.
Well, you know, we're still talking about the past.
And by the way, imagine this, right? You're on a vacation, you're looking at this beautiful fucking sunset, this tree, and then there's that moment, that thought in your head of, okay, I hate that this is going to disappear. And it absolutely sucks away the happiness of that moment. Right. And the point I'm making is that the same thing applies to every action and idea of courage or trauma, where people think it needs to slowly happen in the future. But that all that does is like procrastinate. Now, the idea I'm trying to push is happiness, okay? Everyone can be happy right now. It's this idea in Buddhism of desire. The reason why people are not happy is because they have a desire. And because I want something, I will make a contract with myself that I will not be happy until that happens. And the same thing applies to courage, trauma, everything else where, okay, I will do this, but this needs to happen, X, Y, and Z, where it's this mental, gymnastics that you can easily overcome just by being in the now.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. My point I was making earlier is that you can't give birth to a baby and expect them to start talking right away. So,
but you can't talk to a girl right away, but you need time and courage to talk to a girl.
Hold on. I needed, in terms of I was not capable. In terms of I was stupid, that I did not follow a lot of like rules.
Not you. That is stupid. The idea of what that.
The idea of person being in UCLA not having the courage to talk to girls is stupid.
Right.
But that's at the beginning, and when they grow and they realize why it's a stupid way to think, especially if the person who said person is like hella stubborn and needs to suffer in order to learn, then at some point they will start having the courage to talk to people without having to think about it so much and overthink it. And like you said, that also applies for like just in general, overthinking moments and be like, oh, this moment's going to leave me at some point. That's just overthinking. And you're right. What matters is what's in the now. And sometimes people are not capable of thinking that right away.
Yeah, and the reason why I mentioned this is because, excuse me, fuck. This happens in our conversations where I just forget.
It's all right, fuck.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something really banger. It was gonna fuck. Let me think about this. Can you rehash what you were talking about, Arvin?
Person, okay. You can't expect a baby to talk after it's born. Person. Yeah.
Okay, I get the point you're trying to make, where things need time for things to actually happen.
Learn.
Yes. But like that's not the argument I'm trying to make. Does that make sense? It's the idea of people purposely hold themselves back. Yeah. Right? So they purposely give themselves an extended deadline. Does that make sense? Like these things need to happen before this can happen. And this happens with happiness, where I must become successful first before I can be happy. Right? I must wait long enough until I develop the courage.
That's the wrong way to think.
Right. And that's why I mentioned so much, which by the way, this is not what I wanted to say, but I'm just going to roll with it. But that's why you like stall so much for talking to girls or any specific decision. We're only talking about girls because it's the example right now.
Sorry, I read a comment. That's so ironic. Okay. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. You've talked to me about this. Putting crutches on yourself, or putting being a what's it called? Um, Chronologically dependent. This needs to happen for this needs to happen for this needs to happen. And you know the book, The Courage of Being Disliked, talks a lot about that. How a lot of avoidance is purely from not wanting to or falsely expecting that just wait and it'll be easier, when that's not the case, when that's literally the definition of not having courage. And I think it's fine for people to make that mistake once or twice, but if they keep making that for years on end, then there's a problem. If they're not learning from it, there's a problem. If there's progress, then there's no problem. But if you're avoiding progress because you want more time, then there's a problem.
Now, I won't. It's how would I? But
you hold it upside down.
but so what was the angriest? No, excuse me. What's a fun emotion? What was the most envious emotion? Excuse me. Most envious emotion you had while you were at UCLA. So I'll jog people's memory.
Yeah, I know.
There are things in my head where, you know, there's the girl he likes. She's talking to a guy. He's like, fuck. Or maybe it's like a grade thing. I have no idea.
The most envious moment was seeing someone who is so widely liked, or supposedly widely liked in your eyes, for doing less than you do.
That's good. That's really good. What did they do that you think you did more of?
Meaningful, tangible contribution to X project, or the club in a whole, or the organization in a whole, in terms of how you're making it better, how you're making a better place for people, how you're making a better place for your project.
Do you think that frame of mind changed how you interacted with them?
Like I said earlier, yes, because me having that in mind,
What did you do?
I was actively trying to just be more and more better, and in the process embarrassing myself because I was putting myself in a more...
What did you do?
What did I... Just all the random stuff of like I said earlier, like posting your design before other people post their design because you're the best or whatever. Or we have a lab. Hanging out in the lab way too much so that people are more likely to acknowledge your presence. It's a fallacy.
I get it.
You're just going to get more of both sides. It's not going to do anything.
Wow. Now, what was your happiest moment? Was it that girl?
Like a legit happiness moment. Or like
Sure.
just emotionally purely.
Yeah, happiness. I wouldn't say like emotional high where you thought you were in love or whatever, but
Yeah, let's ignore that.
Yeah, happy moment at UCLA.
Let me think about this. Never had to do with grades. Make that clear. And yeah, it always had to do with the club, which is a problem. And nowadays, it always has to do with me in the recent like few months during summer, because I'm still working on the club even during summer. But it always used to be based around I made a project, or I made a design that works really well, or I made a YouTube video that I really like watching myself. Then I feel, I'm a YouTuber. Or I presented myself with something. I made something from my brain to real life, and it perfectly represents my idea. That's where I say I'm an artist.
I think it's really interesting that a lot of your satisfaction or happiness comes from when there is like a reinforcement with your identity, right? Where it's like a project does good, then that means I'm happy because I'm a good person, or my video is something that performs in a way that I wanted to, so I'm happy because that validates.
It's two things. It's always one of two things. I put so much work into it that it paid off, or something happened that I thought was likely not going to happen, but I wanted it to happen. I want it to be predictable, and it happened. So when something predictable happens, you feel great. When something you put a lot of work into pays off in a reasonable way, you feel great. Those are the two ways I feel great.
The times I feel great is when I'm on that fucking cruise, Arvin. It was so much fun. It's completely irrelevant, right? It's completely irrelevant. But I loved being on that cruise. And you didn't even like your cruise experience that much. But go ahead.
Well, it was just my second time, but no, I had a moment in Lake Tahoe in the beginning of summer. I was sipping on my tequila cocktail.
Rich guy over here, huh? You guys hear? You fucking this guy, right?
Fucking rich.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was sipping on my tequila cocktail while eating chicken fingers on the beach, and that was like a zen moment.
Yeah.
That was a moment of, I'm an adult. I'm here. I'm actually present, and I'm not envious of the present. I'm rather enjoying the present, not sad about that it's going to end soon.
I
felt that on a cruise?
So I'll give you like perfect explanation of why the cruise was so amazing. It's novelty. I'm a person who also, I just love novelty, and they got it fucking down. So the problem, this is like kind of privileged talk. I understand that. Rambo, don't look at chat. We are not watching. That's great. But a big, shut the fuck up. No, like, so here's the thing. A big thing that people, or first person problem, but when you go on vacation, there is this weird pressure to make sure you make the most out of your time, right? I mentioned it in my video where, let's say you go to Japan, you're in Japan for X amount of time. So you're trying to do everything so you can maximize the experience. And I also went to Cancun, Mexico, to an all-inclusive resort where instead of trying to experience everything, I did nothing. I walked around, I ate food, and there was no guilt or pressure to do anything. And with a cruise, it perfectly balances it, where there's that all-inclusive resort where you get to do nothing, no phone unless you want to pay for Wi-Fi, which I wouldn't, because you're just deconnecting. So boom, you're in the moment. There's no pressure for anything. You're not connected to your job, which, by the way, I don't even have a job. I just make YouTube videos. So there's infinitely less pressure for me compared to everyone else. So that part is fun, but you don't want to be on a cruise 6-7 days in a row. So they drop you off at places where you get to experience more of life. So there's novelty. They're changing all the menu items. I fucking love a cruise.
That's why I didn't like Ensenada this time.
Ensenada sucked.
Ensenada was great because it was novel for me when I went first time 3 years ago. But when I went this summer, it was not great because whatever reasons you have as well, that there's not much to do there, and it was just great at the beginning because it was novel. There's not really much to do there.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Ensenada because it's kind of boring fundamentally.
I think of gray and brown because it was so cloudy there.
Oh, was it? No, mine was sunny. So if you guys don't know, Ensenada is a tourist spot in Mexico. We went there. They're known for this famous blowhole, right? It's not even a blowhole. It's just waves, and then there's a rock, and it shoots up. And I paid like very cheap, honestly, $25 per person on a bus to get there. So me and my girlfriend, 50 total. We pulled up. There's this giant market.
How long did it take to get there?
A long time, like an hour, 2 hours. And that's it, right? You pull up to this thrift market or whatever, and it's just a bunch of Mexicans selling Chinese products. I'm like,
try this.
Like, what
Try
the
this
fuck?
Cocktail.
Yeah, and it's like,
Want a penis mug?
Yeah, it's straight bullshit. So Ensenada was not fun, but who cares? I still had a lot of fun, if that makes sense.
In order to get to the blowhole, you had to go through a maze of those merchants.
Yes. Are you okay? No, it's not. But, by the way, Arvin, is there anything you wanted to talk about? And chat, if you have questions you want to ask Arvin.
I love novelty. Novelty was great.
Yeah, I think it's a human thing, for sure. Because I know it makes sense for food. If you're eating the same food over and over again, you won't have a nutritionally balanced diet. So you kind of seek novelty. I don't know about how experiences work with the human brain. But is there anything else you want to talk about, Arvin?
Hit me out with a random question. 3, 2, 1.
Uh, do you like empanada? And then someone says, Rambo, do you use Mega Knight? No, I don't. I use Expo. So these are things you don't know. You don't really play games other than Minecraft.
Yeah, I play Minecraft whenever I don't want to study for a final, and that's only for 2 weeks. So probably like total 4 weeks of the year I'd play Minecraft. I definitely spend at least 2 weeks a year playing PUBG Mobile. Every time I play games, I'm like extremely obsessive about it, so I play games and nothing else, which is why I don't like playing games in general, because now I'm just dead scared of losing time.
Wait, I totally forgot. You're in the nerdy clique of UCLA. There's obviously jocks and like certain groups of people, just like in high school, except at a larger scale, and everyone's semi-rich because they go to UCLA. Yeah, like, have you interacted with the other groups? Have you interacted with the Asian group, the black group?
I feel like it's more cliquey in high school.
Okay.
I think when you're in UCLA, it's more cliquey by major. I can't think of it. It's always cliquey by major or like freaking research project you're working on. It's not cliquey by race or personality. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I spend so much time in my apartment and dorm and for the freaking lab that I have not socialized with enough people, which is not to fucking do that again this year. That's a waste of time.
Oh, wait. By the way, I like to socialize a lot just because it's something I'm uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So, question is, I'm so confused. Do you socialize a lot with people? Because every time you come back, you mention a lot about your club specifically, which is social related. Don't look at the chat, but it's much more like other people. It's never about like other people in UCLA. It's only about your little clique.
Yeah. Since I've been on antidepressants, I've been more social, just by default. I don't know. I've been striking up random conversations with people at work more. So I've been putting an effort into making myself uncomfortable in the moment, so I don't be uncomfortable in the future. And I'm just gonna keep pushing that, so I just keep getting more and more comfortable with talking to people, because I am living under a rock. I was living under a rock. I'm not gonna live under a rock anymore.
Okay. My girlfriend and sister is going to watch the new Demon Slayer movie tomorrow, and you talk about being uncomfortable. Did you want to go talk to girls while I drop them off at the mall?
I would love to, but respectfully, I have to edit I have to edit hours of footage. I promise I'm not making an excuse. If I find time, I will let you know.
You found time for me to hop in this podcast?
I didn't want to be here. I thought this would be like an hour.
It is an hour. We've been live for an hour.
Oh, really? Okay, bye.
Okay. We can end it if you want.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I might go live later today playing Genshin Impact. I'm being super fucking serious. You guys suck. I hate you guys. Your chat sucked fucking dick. You know what? It's nice once in a while that people are commenting. That's great. You guys suck fucking dick. Don't do antidepressants. Just exercise. He does. He tries to live a very healthy lifestyle. But other than that, guys, shout out to everyone. Everyone, if you guys have the chance, watch this video at 0.25x speed. I re-uploaded it because it kept on getting demonetized on the YouTube. Like, no, by the way, I'm joking. Don't apologize. I know you're a child, right? But if you guys can, just play the video in 0.25x speed. I am not kidding. It would really help. It would really help because I had to re-upload this video. So if you guys can, please. Other than that, check out the Patreon. I watched it twice. Shout out to Infinity, bro. Shout out to fucking Infinity. Infinity is a goddamn real G. Arvin, do you want to say anything before you leave? Maybe inspiring words, maybe advice on how to talk to girls.
Yeah, if you...
See, you turn it off.
Fuck you. Okay. If you have a goal, it's your goal. Follow your goal, not anything else. Focus on like 2 things, preferably 1. But don't give a fuck about others. You are in your own simulation. Do whatever you want.
Perfect. And Arvin was very vulnerable during this entire time, but he's a very smart, intelligent person. You don't get into UCLA just by having a lot of money. It also comes with a lot of hard work and dedication. Shout out to my fucking boy. I've known him since elementary school. That's it. Bye, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I'll be re-uploading all my interviews soon, so keep an eye out for that. Toodly-doo, guys. Oh my god. This guy fell. This guy fell. This guy fucking fell. Are you kidding me?